Thank you for coming today. We've got an exciting lineup for you. I just want to give you a brief outline of how it's going to go today. So we're first going to hear from a few MS patients that have gone abroad and been tested and treated for their CCSVI, chronic cerebral spinal venous insufficiency. Then we're going to hear from Dr. Joseph Hewitt, who is a vascular and interventional radiologist who performs the procedure for CCSVI down in Costa Mesa, California. He's also a board-certified phlebologist, which means the study of veins. And we're then going to hear from a Canadian doctor, Dr. Bill Code, who has MS and has been treated for his CCSVI. Then we're going to have a question and answer period. And like I said, we're taping today, so it'll be on all over the web later, and so if you have to excuse yourself to go to the washroom, go ahead, you can see the video after. So I'd like to start off today by calling up a very pretty lady, a good friend of mine, Katerina Sear, please.
Hello everyone. So wonderful to see everyone here today and many familiar faces off of Facebook. As you know, I'm Katerina Sear, and I was diagnosed with relapsing remitting MS 13 years ago. My husband Martin and I decided to have my first treatment in India as he had trusted my decision to have this procedure done. The doctors ballooned my left jugular vein in 3 places. Immediately after my treatment, my head felt clear, and in the following days, the severe pain I had in my head and neck had subsided. This was a true blessing for me, as I could not live in my head anymore. The strength in my right arm had increased and numbness hadn't decreased over a month. I had a very hard time sleeping as I had a loud throbbing in my neck and my head every night, so I didn't get very many hours at all. So that also decreased a lot as I started to sleep much better. The first treatment had given me my life back as a mother and a wife. The screaming of children, I didn't think this was going to happen.
I offered to read it for her, so.
The screaming of children and busy places didn't bother me anymore. It was wonderful. My energy levels shot through the roof. Before treatment, I was always sleeping and very exhausted, and now after a long day, I have that good, tired feeling. My speech and memory had improved also over a couple months. I couldn't think, I couldn't get my words out. It was very hard. I was living in a very heavy cloud all the time. About 5 months post, I started going downhill, and by December, all my improvements were gone, and all my horrible symptoms slowly came back. It took a couple weeks to stop feeling sorry for myself. It took a couple weeks to stop feeling sorry for myself, as I had to give myself a kick in the keister and start doing my research again, as I wanted to feel better again. I wanted that back. I came across the PI and spoke with Dr. Hewitt, wonderful man to speak with. He took his time with me on the phone, let me get all my words out. We discussed my returning symptoms and came to that I had been undertreated and re-stenosed. So I booked with them and was treated by Dr. Arata. Dr. Arata found that my left and right valves were abnormal with reflux. And to my shocking surprise, he found that there was extrinsic compression of my hemiazygos related to my overlying aorta, and said that angioplasty would not have been helpful, so after speaking with me, we decided to put a stent in. So in plain words, my aorta was squishing my hemiazygos. The next morning, I took a shower. I felt the water on my back for the first time in years. My head and my neck pain were gone, and vertigo had decreased almost 100%. The next day, when I started walking around, my legs had felt like a huge weight had been lifted off of them. And to my surprise, when I started walking up the stairs, I didn't need to hold on to the railing anymore. So I figured, well, geez, I might as well try something else. So I started running up the stairs. My balance was there. My legs weren't heavy. So the second treatment right away gave me so much more than my first treatment. I just came back. I'm 9 weeks post, and I just came back from a 10-day vacation in Mexico. And this was going to be the true test of my improvements. It was 30, but felt like 40 in the humidity. I was in the heat all day from morning till night. My body did not go numb. My legs were not heavy.
And she partied.
The energy I had was unreal. I would dance the night away as my legs did not get heavy. And my neck and my head did not overheat. I could never lie on my stomach before. My back would be in a lot of pain, my spine. But I tried it out. I laid on my tummy for the, to see if it would be okay, because I wanted that even tan, and I had no. You always want that even tan. And it didn't hurt at all whatsoever. I could lay for as long as I wanted on my tummy until my kids needed me. Kids always need you. This was the best family vacation in 8 years, as I was there 100% for my family and got to fully enjoy everything. So the first treatment gave me a summer to enjoy with my family, as my head and my neck were not in pain every day. And the second treatment gave me even more improvements faster. And I'm not scared to grow old anymore or worry that I cannot be there for my family. And thanks to my husband's, he's sitting over there.
I didn't see him.
He's hiding. Thanks to my husband's continuous support, I can share all this information with all of you. Angioplasty for CCSVI gave me my life back. Yeah.
Thank you, Katerina, and don't ever apologize. If you're up here and you start to cry, this is coming from our hearts. This is not a story that's been made up. These are actual real stories from people that have multiple sclerosis. All of us are talking from our hearts today. So I'd like to next call up Brenda, and I hope I don't botch your last name, Riquier? Riquier, okay, sorry.
My legs are a little wobbly because I'm getting some strength back and then I'm using muscles again, so excuse me if I have to hang on a little bit. My name is Brenda. I was diagnosed about 17 years ago. The events of the day are really etched in my brain, but not the date. I sort of pushed it out of my head. It's not something I really want to remember. I had numbness down different quadrants of my body in the beginning, and I was always fatigued since I was a teenager. Then I ended up in a heavy reading course with optic neuritis in one eye and then in the other, and that's led to an MRI, which eventually led to my diagnosis. I'm sure, I don't have to explain to anybody in this room what the ripple effect of this disease is like. First it affects the patient, then the family, and then friends, and the community. We know that this isn't a cure, but this is the first viable, positive treatment we've seen in the history of MS. Tomorrow it's going to be 10 months since I went to Poland for my first treatment. It was in the early days. They didn't know as much. They only treated one vein where I went, and that even gave me remarkable results. However, they had put a stent to hold my valve open. They didn't know how to do valvoplasties at the time, and I did develop a thrombus. The improvements I had after the first treatment were, the first one was so incredible, was bladder, and I know there's people here that can really understand that. Like the idea of traveling or even just going shopping with your kids is just mind-boggling when you're thinking, where's the bathroom and do I have enough energy to get there, and having to pack extra clothing, and the whole getting my bladder control back and everything it's a huge human dignity thing as well as quality, for quality of life. My balance was a lot better. I was walking around Krakow through construction and cobblestones, and normally I would trip over a piece of paper, and noticing, hey, I can walk. And before I went, I had gone completely deaf, profoundly in my left ear and partially in my right. I really missed music. I have a lot of grandchildren. I miss listening to them laugh and tell me stories. But slowly, over the first few weeks, my hearing came back. It still kind of goes in and out if I'm overtired or there's a lot of noise and confusion around me. But it's much better. My vision, my eyeglasses were 5 prescriptions better. And I had been getting worse every year, so it was a phenomenal difference in my vision. Fatigue, there was a huge difference. I know I don't have to tell people, between tired and fatigue. Like Katrina said, to be able to feel tired is an amazing feeling. So when I had this thrombus starting, I was starting to feel tired again. I wanted to feel that. Or fatigue again, I wanted to feel tired again. I wanted, I was going to say my mental clarity has improved, but maybe not so much. So I went, I did my research, like as Katrina said, and I asked some people that I really respected their opinion and ended up going to PI for a second treatment. They treated the valves. They also opened up the thrombus area in the left jugular vein. They also did, the other jugular vein had a stenosis, which caused a collateral vein to run right through my thyroid, which in turn caused a cyst to grow. So they're hoping that by opening the stenosis that this collateral will become redundant. And that cyst in my thyroid won't be such an issue anymore. My hands, I really missed my hands. I love to draw. I was learning to play classical guitar, things like that, and they're so painfully numb most of the time. Since the treatment, my right hand is considerably better. My left hand is a little bit better. And I was talking to Jason about it. It seems to be much better in the morning than it is as the day wears on. My legs were going into terrible spasms, and spasm pain is so different from that burn pain. It's a good pain, the burn pain. Like to feel it now, like it feels like when you go for a run or a bicycle ride and your muscles are tired. When I started to lose that after the first treatment, I really, truly missed it. I'm really upset that in this country, we can't even get treatment under compassionate grounds. We just lost a person from our group, Bill Pert, in the Maritimes, where the health minister said that this was just too dangerous. I don't understand how it could be more dangerous than sending a person off to die 2 weeks later. It's more dangerous, I think, I've heard, to have a wisdom tooth removed than it is to have this procedure. I would like to clarify with the press that one thing that keeps getting repeated is that this person died from a stent traveling. The only person whose stent traveled had surgery, and he's doing fine. He did not die. No, and then there's Mustique, who died of lack of follow-up care because he developed a thrombus, and he was turned away from the hospital. This is another issue. We not only can't have treatment, but we're not getting proper follow-up care in this country, which is just deplorable. We have the right to follow-up care. We have the right to a choice of a safe, effective, well, the most effective treatment we've ever had. It seems strange that they would be in a hurry to prescribe drugs that have a myriad of side effects and dangers to them, but we can't do something as simple as this. And the results are sitting, some of them are sitting in this room. Thank you for your time.